welcome to the first ever Income Protection Awareness Week, or IPAW for you acronym fans. Thank you for attending the very first session. As is customary, and in the expectation that we might have some new viewers or fans, we'll start with some introductions. My name is Jo Miller.
I'm Andrew Wibberley.
Hi, I'm Katie Crook-Davies.
Together, we are the co-chairs of the IPTF, which exists to raise the profile of income protection insurance and ultimately ensure that more people protect their incomes.
So why are we holding an awareness week all around IP? Why now? And most importantly, what do we have planned for the week ahead? So let's start with the why. Why IP? While many of us know the answer to this, some may not. And even for those who do, we think it's important to keep highlighting the why and bringing the core purpose of IP to life. Simply, we are more likely to be off work than to die or have a critical illness. The impact of being unable to work is unpredictable, both personally and financially, and often can have a catastrophic and unexpected impact on our family finances. IP is all about protecting you, whether or not you have a family, whether or not you own a home, whether or not you have that perfect life that lets you walk along the beach in the way that maybe insurers imagine that we all do. IP is about protecting your ability to pay your mortgage, to make your car repayments, to pay for your dog's food, toys, and vet bills, to save for your retirement also. Ultimately, it's all about protecting your biggest asset, your ability to earn an income. So, what's the Income Protection Awareness Week all about then? This week is about supporting advisors to have more income protection conversations and ultimately grow the IP market. We want to explain things in new and different ways, give you tools to support your conversations and help you grow your business while also protecting more incomes. So in that spirit, and for those who prefer your explanations with a few more pictures, check out our new and simple short explainer video launched today on social channels and on the IPTF website, which explains IP and the why in a couple of minutes. This and all other content we're referencing today is available for you to use however you see fit. So we hope it's helpful to you and your clients.
So we hope you enjoyed that brand new video, 2-minute explainer on what income protection is, and it's given you the confidence that you're in the right place for this session and all the sessions that follow at this time through this week. Before we go on, we want to just share why we think there's a need for an Income Protection Awareness Week. The figures on screen now really do speak for themselves. there's clearly a huge opportunity and arguably need to increase awareness of and sales of income protection. Whichever number you're currently looking at, I can be pretty confident that it's not a good one. With mortgage, rent, male, females, self-employed and employed, all generally being under 10% penetration rate, there's clearly opportunities all around the market to make a difference here. Now, while we absolutely don't want and won't let this week be about the past or to be spent moaning on about the lack of income protection in place today, we do need to face up to the reality of this situation. And yes, appreciate the potential in the product if we can get things right here. The good news ought to be that insurers don't need to battle with each other for the last crumbs of market share here, and advisors don't need to fight for customers. We all have an opportunity in a growing market to grow ourselves and to help both the market, ourselves, and our clients. It's fair to say, of course, that these numbers will in part come from the public not understanding income protection, and we as an industry can all work together to improve that. We believe that happens by increasing understanding of and confidence in the product amongst advisors. We're not looking to create a band of income protection specialists in 1 week, although some of our members might be able to help you with that both this week and beyond. But we are absolutely determined in wanting to increase your knowledge and give you that confidence to talk about the need to protect income with your clients. Because when we look at the number of financial advisors regularly selling income protection, the numbers, as you may imagine, are ultimately just as disappointing as those figures shown in the infographic. Clearly, there are some well-established and fantastically performing protection specialists doing an amazing job out there. But given income protection is the product that ensures financial resilience, facilitates other plans and spending, we make no apologies for saying that we believe it should form part not just of every protection conversation, but every mortgage conversation and conversations that wealth advisors are having with their clients. It should, but it isn't happening. There will, quite understandably, be a number of reasons for this. The aim of this week then is to reach out to those advisors who maybe sell a little income protection, maybe don't sell any at all just yet, but to equip them with the knowledge, confidence and tools to take the first steps to including income protection in all client conversations.
So the next question is, why is now the right time for Income Protection Awareness Week? As evolved humans, we've developed many skills, but as a time, you will be excused for thinking that one of our best is our ability to mimic an ostrich and put our head in the sand and ignore the uncomfortable reality for as long as possible. Any advisor out there who has ever raised the prospect of income protection will have a good idea of just how infallible the average Brit can be. The main reason for claims, back pain, stress, anxiety, cancer, heart conditions, can all be swerved as things that might happen to other people. But surely it wouldn't happen to me until it's too late. For us, as all, this last year ought to have been as powerful a reminder as ever that the utterly unthinkable can and will happen. We are more aware than ever that we don't know today what will happen next month, let alone next year. Any suggestion that it won't happen to me can and must be challenged more stridently than ever. COVID has also brought with it the largest ever government support package for people who have been unable to work. There have been various elements and layers of this, but as this now draws to a close at the end of this month, the memories for individuals will remain. Clearly, the details of how furlough worked and how IP operates are different, but as a reference point for those people who've never heard of income protection, those who we want to make aware of it, this must be a great starting point of conversation. Before we go too much further, we wanted to pause to reflect on the real reason we believe that every time an income protection policy is taken out, we can all be proud of what we've achieved. This video is a summary of the amazing work done as part of the 7 Families Initiative coordinated by the IPTF. Some of you will have seen this before, others maybe not. Either way, if you get through the next 2.5 minutes without an emotional moment, along the way, then you're a tougher nut than all of us.
Paul had a massive brainstem stroke. Well, he was 42. You know, I was 37 when it happened, and you don't expect it, because when it does come, let me tell you, your world comes crashing down, and it isn't pleasant.
So not only are you not well, you've lost your income, and then you're having to think, well, something I never would have had to do before was apply for benefits, and then going through that whole process is just like kind of soul destroying, really.
We were going to go off and travel around Europe on motorbikes. We got about as far as the borders, and unfortunately I lost control of my bike. I ended up going across a dual carriageway and hitting a car. I was transferred to the National Spinal Unit in Glasgow, where I was there for the next 11 months and 1 week. Got no sensation from about there downwards. Didn't have anything before this happened at all. I was reliant on my works insurance that I had, but being as I was actually on a career break when the accident happened, it didn't count, so I was kind of without anything at all.
All of a sudden you're told you can't work.
You go from having, say, 2 wages coming in the house, and then all of a sudden it was 1. And, you know, we're a family of 5, 6 including the dog. You know, we've got to buy school uniforms, we've got to buy them clothes, we've got to buy them, you know, we've got to do all the day-to-day
Those things don't stop just because one of you is not well enough to work.
And it's not a case
and it's an
of
added pressure on your partner.
I wish we'd kind of put other things in place. We were more concerned with going to work and doing up the house, and we honestly did not think that anything like this could possibly happen. And it did. It could happen to anybody.
Certainly some really emotional viewing, and I think it just demonstrates how the unexpected can happen and the value of IP and really why we all do what we do. So I suppose at this point we're clear on why IP, why now for the Income Protection Awareness Week. So let's dive into the detail around what's coming up this week and why we've decided to do things just a bit differently. So us protection types are big fans of going to conferences, meeting up with colleagues, may that soon be the norm again, and debating why IP policies aren't flying off the shelves when we all know that it should be, and for many of us is the foundation of kind of all protection conversations and financial planning conversations. We collectively challenge the existing ways of doing things and plan to make changes. But I think it's fair to say that after sufficient liquid refreshment and once back in our day-to-day busy lives, many of us return to what we know best and still feel that frustration when the IP sales don't come flying in. So this week, we're really determined to right that wrong. We believe we have the best chance of doing this by opening up the conversation and celebrating the diversity of thought and ideas that lie through the whole community working hard to protect incomes. We'll be sharing knowledge and success stories from the front line and front up to the challenges that people face in making income protection the star product that it should be. Plus, we'll be using pledges to hold us all accountable, but more on that later. We know things aren't always easy out there for financial advisors. For all the reasons to do this, there is another list of challenges that sits against it. Competing priorities for your time and your client's budget, other products to learn about, and other things to get done before September comes to an end. Yeah, we're actually at the end of September almost. But we passionately believe that now is the best time to be introducing IP into your client conversations. And we hope that by the end of this week, you feel more comfortable and excited to do so.
So the detail, what can you expect from this week? One last word on the tone. We need to have open, honest, practical and optimistic conversations about how we can all do better. No one is pretending that what we're doing currently is perfect, and we are all in this together. To that end then, this week, there'll be approximately an hour of content broadcast each day between 12 and 1. Today and Friday, maybe a little shorter than that. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there'll be about an hour of content each day. On top of that, we'll be releasing additional materials and signposting to tools and resources that we believe you'll find interesting and useful. We really encourage you to join in. So please use a couple of hashtags. There's hashtag Let's Talk IP and hashtag IPAW, IPAW, in your post so that we can all follow the conversation and amplify your voice and feedback. Please visit the IPTF website, handily called iptf.co.uk. There you'll see an Income Protection Awareness Week menu as part of the homepage. And again, we encourage you to explore and use all the materials and assets that we'll be posting there. To encourage you to take a peek right now or in 10 minutes when this is finished, depending on your patience. You can see that 2-minute explainer video again, the 7 families video that we've just shown, and also an exclusive 20 minutes on the basics of IP from kind of legendary income protection trainer Richard Cately. In that video, Richard talks both about the product, some kind of sales and conversation starters, and the need for it. So I thoroughly encourage you, if you're new to this, whether you've seen Richard talk before or not, to have a look at that. And then, as we say, revisit the site during the week and after it. Ultimately, this week is all about awareness. So the more you and all of us can share, the better for everyone. With that, I'll pass over to Jo to talk about what's happening tomorrow.
So tomorrow, Tuesday, will be focused on the mortgage market and looking at the importance of discussing income protection as part of the mortgage conversation. And that doesn't mean we won't be talking about renters and other potential customers. We'll be hearing from a keynote speaker on the importance of IP in the context of mortgages, and we'll hear from at least one advisor in this space who has recently increased their focus on IP, how they found it, and the tips that they would share with anyone thinking of doing the same. And we'll also have a lively panel discussion on how to get started if you're a mortgage advisor wanting to increase your income protection sales.
On Wednesday, then, we'll turn our attention to the wealth market and consider why and how wealth advisors should position protection in their conversations with clients, the sorts of objections they might face and how these can be overcome. We'll have a case study of an advisor using cash flow modelling successfully to demonstrate the need for protection to wealth clients. And we'll include a lively panel discussion considering suitable clients, compliance considerations, and how IP can fit into retirement planning conversations. And over to Andrew for the Thursday lowdown.
Thanks, Katie. So on Thursday, we'll let insurers into the virtual room to help us tackle the thorny subjects of underwriting and claims. 2 subjects that advisors expressed particular interest in during our research earlier this year. We'll be looking to demystify the subject of underwriting, bust some of those myths, and explain why it works as it does, and looking at the claims process in more detail. We'll bring our advisor audience closer to the moment when the product they've sold really makes a difference, that makes a real difference to someone's life, with both an advisor perspective and an insurer perspective. We have a session looking at how likely IP is to pay and fronting up to when it doesn't pay and the reasons for that, and how we can all make it more likely that it will pay out more often. We'll also look at how a claim is more than a check, with reference to some of those value-added services that 7 families considered and that are included with all income protection policies now. Last but not least, we'll also make time for a quick underwriting and claims Q&A session. So again, please do start letting us know any questions you have that you want to put to heads of underwriting and claims at insurers, and we'll see how many we can get through on the day.
Finally, on the Friday, we'll be summarising the key points from the week, including, I'm sure, many highlights. But Friday will also be a very important day, for it's a day we'll be reviewing all of the pledges we've received over the week and looking at how people are going to take what they've heard and turn it into action. What's a pledge, I hear you ask? Fear not, it doesn't involve money. Instead, it's where you tell us how you're going to get involved in Income Protection Week. We're asking you to consider, starting right now, how you're going to be part of the change. What could you do differently? How will you use what you learn this week? And could you have more conversations? Could you review your client base to identify target customers? Could you help educate colleagues on the need for IP? For the insurers watching, how will you get involved? Can you spread the word via an extra training session? We all have a part to play, and we want to know what your role is going to be. Visit iptf.co.uk and you'll see the Income Protection Awareness Week heading on the menu, which will direct you to where you can download the pledge template, which you can personalise, save as a PNG file and send to info@iptf.co.uk, as well as sharing on social. If you're feeling really brave and inspired, send us a video pledge to let us know what you're going to do. The sky is the limit. Yes, the pledges make us all accountable. That's exactly the reason that we want to do them. Because ultimately, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you always got. We'd love to see as many advisors as possible posting their IP pledges on social media, videos or images with the hashtags IPAW, that's IPAW, and hashtag Let's Talk IP, and encourage others to join in too. Keep us updated on your progress, because while this week of content is important, the more important part will be how everyone takes what they've learned and implements it over the coming weeks and months.
We're delighted to see so many IPTF members and others involved in the industry running IP events alongside this Income Protection Awareness Week. Keep an eye out for L&G's IP webinars and iPipeline's IP seminars that are running during this week. Also check out Holloway's CIP Differently campaign and the new CII guide to income protection for those advisors who are just getting started. Now, we won't apologise for any deluge you felt through your BDMs, newsletters and financial journals, all on IP. And we honestly don't mind where you find the information that makes a difference for you, so long as you get those useful nuggets that could make a real difference to your clients over the weeks, months, and hopefully better protected years ahead.
So we hope you'll agree, a really exciting week with lots to look forward to. Before we let you go today, as we come to a close, to either go and listen to the excellent Richard Cately 20-minute video, or to do something else that you've been meaning to do with this free half hour we're donating back. A couple of last requests. If you haven't registered for other days yet, please do so, to be the very first to hear these stories of people like you who have cracked their own IP conundrums. If you think that others you work with or know would also be interested, then please do share details on with them. All of the content from this week will continue to be shared through the week and long after it. So if someone's away this week or whatever, don't worry. But obviously, for everyone, the sooner they get to benefit from this information, the better. So please do share. Last but not least, remember to visit the website and check your inboxes. And please continue the conversation on social using the hashtags Let's Talk IP and hashtag IPAW. You can find us on Twitter at the IPTF. But the last thing to say is a genuine thank you for being here today on the first ever day of the first ever Income Protection Awareness Week. And we really hope you come back throughout the week to follow the excitement as it unfurls. Thank you.